So welcome back again. As we discussed in our previous lesson, in here we're going to add four essentially new classes. I will add 3 of them in this lesson and 1 of them in the next lesson. So let's go ahead and add these 3 classes. I'm going to go ahead in here, and these are going to be in our common folder. So neither in groceries Droid nor in groceries iOS, rather in the groceries itself. So I'm going to say Command N. This is going to be item class. You could either call it item class or just call it generally item. Either of those would work. Our item class has 3 values: public, string, name, and we have getter and setter for it. And public, string, time, and that of course has getter and setter. So that's the time of the item, and public string purchased. So set doesn't really matter, but get and set. Perfect. So now we have 3 different variables in item class: name, time, and purchased. So that's one. I'm going to add another class. This class is going to be called user class. And our user class is actually very similar to item class. I'm going to copy these things actually. Go to our user class, and in your user class, every user has a name, has an email, and has a UID. So each user has a name, an email, and a UID. Perfect. So now we have our item class and our user class. And if you pay attention, you will see that here in the common area, our namespace is groceries, while in iOS or Android, they are groceries.droid or groceries.ios. Essentially, groceries is shared between the 2 of those. So let's go ahead and add one more class, and this one I'm going to call it grocery list class. So grocery list class has a little bit different, it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to have different stuff in it. One of them is a public string name, get and set. Obviously each list has a name. Then each list has a set of items. So I'm going to say public list, and list is a member of the system collections, so we have to add that. And I'm going to say it's a list of item classes. Let's call it items, and of course get and set. So I'm going to add the system collections. And finally, we have a public user class owner. So each grocery list class that we have, each instance of it, it will have an owner. So a list of items, an owner, and a name. I should mention something here that because we are working on an application that is about shopping lists or grocery lists, and we have a grocery list class, and we have other things that they somehow have the name list in them, and we are also using the generic collection type list. Just pay attention so it doesn't confuse you. So this list is essentially like an array, and that's just a name that we have provided. If you're newer to programming, these terms might confuse you a little bit. Otherwise, you're good to go. And now we have our 3 classes added: grocery list class, item class, and user class. And we can move on with adding our app data class now.